New releases. So, John, first thing off, you've got 2 new releases for the show. Tell me what they are, because I can't pronounce one of them.
Slow it down. First of all, I'm not.
I need to calm down.
I'm up off the floor. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm upright. I'm vertical. Life is good. The 2 new releases actually are Le Pâtissier.
Le Petit.
Not
Le Pâtissier.
Repeat.
Le
Pâtissier.
Pâtissier.
And CHC Series E. And we are also distributing Ace Prime, so we're also introducing Fiat Lux on their behalf.
Right.
As well as the Sergeant, which is their PCA exclusive for 2021.
That's right, and you're the Le Pâtissier is a PCA exclusive, correct? Just
that is
for
correct.
Retailers who come to the show, correct?
That is correct.
That's awesome.
Got to be in it to win it, so you have to be here. So
that's really cool. But the
is it though?
Yeah, it is.
Do you really mean that? I don't feel a sincerity out of you though. You're like, that's really cool, tongue in cheek.
I feel like I was trying to be sincere.
Okay,
yeah,
that was a good.
But now I'm insulted, so
it's okay. Go ahead.
All right,
carry on.
The CHC actually has a musical component, as most of your cigars do.
Seemingly. Yes.
Tell some information about that.
So,
please.
Of course. Series E, the E stands for Eruption. Eruption was a guitar solo made famous by Edward Van Halen in 1978. Most people on this floor probably are not going to make that connection. They're going to look at the inside of the lid and go, oh, that's kind of a cool graphic. But the graphic was inspired by his Frankenstrat guitar. But it's the main thing about Series E is that it was sonically inspired. It's not the tribute to Edward Van Halen. It's not the tribute to Van Halen. I was listening to Eruption much in the same way that I used to listen to When the Levee Breaks back in the day, and which became Headley Grange. And I noticed that the trajectory of that solo reminded me of the act of cutting, lighting, smoking, and finishing a cigar. So like the drum and bass intro was kind of like cutting, toasting, prepping, and then the intricate solo in the middle where you hear all the double tapping and the triads and the arpeggios and all that technical stuff. That's the complexity of the cigar. And then it has that dive bomb at the end where it just bottoms out and it's like, you can almost like mentally see somebody exhaling smoke and feel it lingering on the palate. So I was like, man, this is just like smoking a cigar. That was the inspiration for Series E.
And this is interesting to me because being a music guy yourself, you see, I imagine you have a lot of these situations where you think to yourself, wow, this could be an interesting situation in terms of a cigar and that kind of thing. Do you have a whole bunch of them, or is it just one every once in a while kind of thing, or do you have like a list, notebook that you write stuff down in and think, this is pretty cool? Or
sometimes, but for the most part, it's just kind of like
in the shower. Or?
No, never in the shower. I don't write in the shower for sure. But no, I mean, it's as it comes. I don't sit there and go, okay, what song could I riff off of for a cigar? The only hard and fast rule we have is like no Bruce Springsteen. No Springsteen.
Or Bob Dylan. We talked about that.
Dylan. We talked about that previously. Those
Indeed.
are both way off limits.
I was disappointed that you didn't mention Sammy Hagar, the classic Sammy Hagar.
Well, I kind of think there are 2 types of people.
Who I hate, by the way.
Right. So you got the Hagar people and the Roth people.
Right.
Right. It's a very divided camp, I think.
Indeed.
It's just like, do you like John Mellencamp or do you like Bruce Springsteen? They're both kind of that Americana guy, but one guy's authentic and cool, and the other guy's a poser.
What do you think? You think we should call him John Mellencamp like he's trying to do now, or will he always be John Cougar to you?
To me, he will be John Mellencamp.
Yeah.
I think that guy's actually, all jokes aside, pretty much a Renaissance dude. I like his artwork. His art's beautiful. I love his art. Very dark, moody, and I liked his whole rebellious attitude back in the day.
He'll always be John Cougar to me.
Really? Johnny Cougar.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
There you go.
So you've got some ideas about new musical themes, I assume, going around in your head. I want to know when you're going to release one for that classic 80s artist, Kenny Loggins.
Oh, God. That was a pull.
Yeah.
Wow. Kenny Loggins, wasn't he on the Caddyshack soundtrack? He did that I'm All Right where the gopher comes up and starts doing the little dance. That's how I know Kenny Loggins. That's my point of reference for Kenny Loggins.
The genius Kenny
Am I
Loggins.
Right?
Danger Zone, Footloose.
You really listen?
Help me out.
Seriously?
Footloose
you would go on record as admitting that you listened to Kenny Loggins?
Footloose is the best
God.
movie soundtrack in history.
All right.
And I dare you to come up with a better one.
Last Waltz was a great movie, though.
I dare you to come up with a better one.
Movie.
Kyle, come up with a better one.
Better one than what?
Better than
Footloose.
Better soundtrack. Let's go.
God.
You know what's second? Top Gun.
And
you know why?
Soundtracks?
Because of Kenny Loggins.
Reservoir Dogs. Pulp Fiction, anything other than Footloose.
Swingers. Great song.
Yeah, anything but Footloose. Fill in the blank.
Disagree.
Frozen, anything but Footloose.
Can you
Frozen
break out,
2, anything but Footloose.
Can you break out in Frozen for me?
Actually, I probably could because I've seen it so many times because
I
AJ
haven't seen
loves
the
that.
second one.
I've seen the second one. We own the second one. I watched it in the theater. We own it. We watch it on the iPad quite frequently. It's I like the second one.
Your background.
I'm a fan. I love kids movies.
Your background is in rock kind of music, right?
How so?
Rock-ish,
No, I like all kinds of music except country.
except country.
Yeah, I'm not a big country fan for the most
Could you
part.
imagine one of these themed releases, these musically themed releases, doing something, for example, an opera, something of that nature? Or are you?
You know, I think it's kind of been done. Who's the guy? Rafael Nadal. Didn't he do like all that? He's got like, I don't know. There's some sort of musical thing that he's did. He's a piano player. But then Ava was a piano player and
Sure.
all that. Yeah. I don't know anything about opera, so it would be a complete no.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Give me a little background on your tattoos. These are pretty awesome.
Gosh, how much time do you have?
We've got quite a bit of time.
Really?
Actually.
How long do we have? We have 9 minutes and counting? 8?
I
21,
don't know.
20? Is that the timer it goes up or down?
What's military?
Charlie's lost control. What do you want to know? This is my most recent one. This is my one I love the most, though. Actually, I had my wife's name.
Here, hold that up so people can see.
Where?
Right here.
Is there a camera here?
Right there. Yeah.
That?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So a few years ago, I had my wife's name on here with an anchor because she's my soulmatey, we call it. So it's like a pirate kind of thing.
I got you.
So then I went back and I just had these 2 moonflowers done. Moonflowers are night blossoms, and this is a true story, but I never knew what a moonflower was until I met my wife 11 years ago. So she kind of turned me on to what moonflowers were, and we grow them every year, and we go, take the seed from the one year and replant them, and
That's really cool.
it's a really cool thing. It's something that I never knew about until I met her, and it's always kind of been a symbol of our relationship. So I had a couple of moonflowers put in. That's the most recent one.
That's pretty
And
awesome.
then I got my daughter's name here, my son's initials here. Those are my favorites.
I've never really seen the appeal to tattoos, but I think it's probably because I really don't like pain, and so for
It's
me,
not painful. It's not painful
see,
at
that's
all.
what people who have tattoos say to people who don't have tattoos
You know,
to get them to try that.
No, it's true story.
I'm
Like
pretty
when I was
sure.
having this sleeve on my right side done, I sat for about 3.5 hours, and that's continual 3.5 hours. Break for the artist would break for a cigarette, what have you, and I fell asleep in the chair. I was so relaxed, and I was just like so bored, and I was just like started nodding off in the chair. So it's not painful. It's not at all.
I don't believe you.
It's a true story. I actually enjoy it. It's like spa day for me. I love going to get a tattoo. I
How
would
many
get
do you
more.
have? How many
but
do you have?
I don't know. How do you count them? It's like.
I don't know. You're the one with the tattoos,
Well,
man.
I know body placement: hands, arm, all arm, half arm, shoulder, chest, upper back, stomach. That's all I've got so far. So
It sounds like a lot, though.
Yeah, I would have more, honestly.
What's your oldest one?
My oldest. Oldest one will be here.
When is it? How long does it go back to?
This is 1981 or something like that.
Is it a
maybe?
portrait of Kenny
Something like
Loggins?
that. It is. It's it's from that famous Footloose. It's actually Kevin Bacon.
Such a great
Kevin
great
Bacon,
soundtrack.
and then it says Kenny Forever in a scroll. So yeah, that's a cherished one.
That's awesome, Charlie.
Yeah.
How long do we have here?
Are you serious? Let's talk about cigars, man.
Let's talk about
Instead
it.
of tattoos and shit like that. I just swore for the first time on here, so you said I could do anything I wanted. Anyway,
What
do you, let me ask you. I'm gonna turn the tables. Here
Yeah,
for a second.
go ahead.
What are you excited on? Disregard the fact that I'm here from Crown Heads or Ace Prime.
Absolutely. I
What
will.
are you excited for here at the show?
I'm excited to see the new release.
I know. I want to get the real deal. I do watch you guys.
I'm excited to see the new release from Crown Heads. That's what I'm
come
excited
on.
about.
He's dead serious. The reason why PCA
Le Patissier.
Lay. He still says lay. It's le.
Le.
didn't make his list was because he couldn't pronounce it.
That's right. I was going to
Sure.
put it on your list, but I couldn't pronounce it.
Just that broadleaf cigar they're doing. I want to smoke that. Yeah. I got to ask you guys. Do you know if the Fuente Padron thing came to fruition in time for the show or not?
I'm like surprised he was delayed.
There is
really shocker.
You cannot rush the things of time.
No, you
cannot.
can't.
You cannot
You
run thing
cannot.
at the time.
So it didn't happen.
It is in progress.
Okay. Because as a cigar fan, I was looking forward to that one. That was the only one I was looking forward to.
That's the only one in the whole show.
That's the only one that really like stood out. Like I'm like, okay.
Like a vegan one? They're not on display.
But they have them.
Well, he has them.
What's this? At least give me the Vitola.
It's church. They already have two churches.
Okay.
Two churches.
Nice.
What do you think about Dunbarton's new release? This is interesting.
I don't know
You were
anything about it.
asking about the using the pipe tobacco, Latakia, in the blend.
Is that what he's doing?
Indeed, 4 Vitolas, 4 different pipe tobaccos in the blend.
Okay. And that doesn't get my dick hard. Sorry. Latakia and Perique and all that pipe tobacco. I've never been a pipe guy, so.
And I agree, but
that'll be a hard pass
it's
for me.
certainly an interesting concept. Wouldn't you think?
Interesting doesn't necessarily translate to desirable.
Well, sure. Look at the Footloose soundtrack.
Exactly. I mean, it's not desirable to me, but it's interesting to you. So that you can file that Latakia cigar in the same kind of. No, it doesn't do anything for me. This is the first time I've heard about that concept, but
Don't read Half Wheel very much, huh?
I read you guys every day. But I didn't see anything that I knew Steve was coming out with some mystery cigar and da 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 da, but I didn't know that was the punchline. So it's Latakia.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I am extremely fascinated in it. I think that it's an interesting idea, and I think that I would love I'd love to try it. Whether you like it or not is a whole other issue. Of course, but
I'm
it's
sure it'll do
pushing forward.
great, whatever. But I've never been a pipe guy. I've never been into pipe tobacco or pipes or anything like that. So
Can you give us any idea what's coming up from y'all, not from Saka?
what's coming up from us? I mean, that's it. CHC,
The new
Serie
stuff?
E. It's actually, we had to delay it so that it wouldn't be sitting in a hot warehouse while we're gone. So when we get back from the show, it'll be en route, and we'll get it before the end of July.
That first Las Calaveras was wonderful.
Yeah, this guy's fault right there. I still
He
attribute.
scored it. What, it's a 91,
all
right?
bullshit aside, I attribute that 94
94.
on the Las Calaveras.
94?
It was you gave me 94.
Wow.
And because I had no idea that it was going to go like that, but I think that's what was the tipping point on that.
Would have given it an
particular-
89 tops.
That was a really good cigar.
Yeah. It's a good thing, because if Patrick working for you guys at the time? Because it would have been an 85, 87,
I think
85, 87.
he must have liked it because it got in pretty high on the top 25.
What are you smoking right now?
This is the new Aganorson. Yeah, the Anniversario.
Okay.
Yeah, good stick.
Looks like a little. Is it 42 maybe? 42
I'm
maybe?
gonna
44?
say 44 on that.
Yeah, 44.
44.
Fresh. Nice.
Yeah.
Very
What about
nice.
you? What are you smoking?
Le Patissier.
Ugh, of course.
Le Patissier. You
Le
know what?
Patissier.
As soon as you can pronounce it correctly, I'll bring you one over. Now, if I held everybody to that standard, my guys wouldn't be able to smoke them because nobody. And you know how many times I had to tell them, "Hey guys, when you're selling it, it's Serie E, not series," because they kept saying series. I'm like, it's not the World Series, it's a cigar, Serie E.
You just try to confuse people, really.
I try to make things easy, man. I try, but what's easy for me in my brain is not necessarily doesn't translate. But
I haven't seen the booth just yet. Do you guys have that leather chair still that people sit in like a king? I figured you guys need
it's like a faux cowhide thing, right? Those big, giant, enormous chairs. Yeah, we still have those.
And you're still taking your samples out of that big music
the
music
only
case?
Thing, the only thing that's changed is now we have more music cases.
We have one
We have
actually.
more roadshow
now
cases
we
now.
actually bought one to get our stuff here. The big black case to get our stuff here.
It was funny because last night I was in the booth by myself, and one of the union guys came up and they were trying to take those cases away,
Right?
like to store them. I'm like, no, that's part of the display. I'm like, he's like, oh, really? I thought you need. So yeah, we got more music cases. This is the last year for this booth. We actually rented a dumpster for post show, and we're gonna tear it down and throw it away.
You're just gonna tear it down and throw it all away.
There's not that much to it, you know what I mean? There's a couple of faux walls that are really heavy, and on each
You
side.
got like logos and stuff up there, like signs and
Well, we
everything.
changed those signs out, so they're disposable. You get them printed, then next year it'll be, Le Patissier Connecticut Shade or whatever. Fucking.
We have a question from the audience.
Oh
Yes. Oh, please.
Nobody's watching.
Please.
Have the supply issues alleviated at all? I remember you saying, I'm assuming you.
Don't blame me.
Saying there wasn't any stock in the warehouse on Zoom last year.
It's pretty well on certain brands. That is still true. Like Headley Grange, I haven't seen it since 2019. Four Kicks, I think we have literally 2 boxes on the shelf. Luminosa, a smattering. And we just got in a shipment of Imperiosa and Jericho Hill before we left, literally like just before. Yeah, we still got some holes. Most of it's from Ernie, from Tabacalera La Alianza, but that's what happens when you're cursed with the Cigar of the Year and you're on back order overnight for, whatever. So.
Well, Charlie had mentioned in our pre shows about how many SKUs you actually have still.
I know, and I was a little offended. Let's just talk.
You were a
Let's
little
have real
offended?
talk. I'm like, how is it that we get called to the mat for having too many releases? And I'm like going, okay, Rocky, how many? Let's see, I can't even. Perdomo, how many? Pete, how many? I mean, the list goes on. I ain't doing anything that nobody else is doing. Boy, am I the kid on the block that gets scolded.
I
No one talks about it. I think it's, Rocky, how many cigars does Rocky sell?
I don't even, yeah, a lot.
So, in comparison,
But okay, so you got,
talking about percentage here.
yeah, look, all we've done for the last 10 years is literally two at the most. I think in 2016 we released 2 new brands per year, and then annual limited editions.
Do you think that you need to? Do you think you need to pare it down a little bit? You think you're good with what you got at the moment?
I think by what is it when the animal kingdom, not us, what is the there's a term I'm looking for. No, it's not survival of the fittest.
Okay.
Anyway, by natural
Selection.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Selection. It's kind of doing it for us. Like right now on our price list, we did not list Headley Grange, J.D. Howard. We pared it down. We didn't even put the state exclusives on the price list because we just don't have inventory. So we're not discontinuing those brands, but we are focusing on what we can ship. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of a nature of the beast right now. So
Awesome.
we're halfway.
Any
there.
other questions, Charlie?
yeah. Charlie Craigmore wants to know, what's your favorite tobacco region globally? What area are you partial to? Any notes what
Did he really? Next question.
He also
Kidding.
verbs that spelled
I mean, I've always been a fan of Nicaraguan tobacco. I mean, and to say what region is almost impossible because everything has a different use and purpose, whether it's Esteli, Jalapa, Pueblo Nuevo. I know you're not a fan of Pueblo Nuevo, but who was not the fan of Pueblo Nuevo? Somebody said it was
No,
like
I
dirty.
said I'm not a fan of
Ometepe? Ometepe.
Have you used Ometepe in any of your blends?
We have.
Which one? Charlie?
Your stuff's got some Ometepe, right?
We do have some Ometepe in it.
Just a little bit, though,
Just
right?
a little bit, not a lot. I mean, it's all personal preference. It's like, I don't like Dominican Olor. I think it's grassy and mushroomy and herbaceous and whatever the fuck you want to say. But, I mean, there's an audience for it. You know what I mean?
And
but
I'm sure-
I'm a fan of Nicaraguan tobacco, I think.
In terms of blend, I mean, I didn't like. I didn't think I was a big fan of Honduran tobacco until I smoked some of Christian stuff, some of the new stuff that had come out. And so, I think it comes down as you've said before. I'm sure that it comes down to blend. You can use Ometepe, just make sure it goes in well.
One of the things that Luciano Morales at Tobacco Pichardo and Ace Prime does for us is he'll send me puros of tobaccos. He's never done one for Ometepe, but he's done one for Pueblo Nuevo, and he's like, this is the whole thing is all Pueblo Nuevo. Smoke it. I mean, and that gives me a little bit of an idea of what the tobacco can do in the blend, and then we kind of fuck with it from there.
I cannot imagine a puro of Ometepe.
It's probably yeah. I mean, again, if you use it in a blend, it's one thing, but if it probably isn't.
Well, the problem with Ometepe, though, that's, I think, a bit different.
Probably wouldn't burn very well
The
either.
entire country of Honduras is that there weren't that many people using Ometepe, so you only got to see Sensia's version.
Right.
Like Ernesto, he doesn't use Ometepe, does he? Yeah. So if you're not Greg limited,
Yeah.
in the sense it'd be like only 3 places make hamburgers. You may not like hamburgers.
That's true.
Well, I can't wait to try.
Give me another question.
What was the inspiration for this year's Los Calaveras colors?
Tweety Bird. I'm just joking about that, but somebody actually, somebody said on a Zoom call, one of our guys, I was asking around the table, like, what was the feedback from your retailers? And one guy said that one of his retailers said it looked like Tweety Bird died or something like that, and I thought that was hysterical. I'm like, just El Rey del Mundo. I love that yellow when it's on a darker kind of cigar. That yellow pops. I've always wanted to do something yellow, so it's El Rey del Mundo, hands down. That was the color scheme inspiration.
I love the Zippo. Was this made?
It's
a Zippo with the insert.
It's a Zippo with the insert. Yeah, that insert was a game changer for me because I never used these lighters before. Not Zippo, but the butane lighters. I've always used a soft, like little Jeep or a Bic, and then they had these inserts, and I was like, okay, I'll tip in. So. Oh really? Do they fit in the Zippo kit? Oh really? I need to get that.
Well, like, almost every single insert that you can buy has to be in the flat plate.
Yeah. And what was the consensus? No pun intended.
Yeah, I have to ask him because I photographed it, but I don't know that he's actually.
But the advantage of the flat plate is that still have that width that
I've found, so like, again, never using these things, so I went on Amazon and bought this Ronson fuel or whatever, which completely like was garbage and ruined like the first lighter. I swear to God. And then somebody gave me this can of this, I don't know what it was like this gray can, and I put it in, it was like, oh my God, it's like world of difference. Was it? Is that what it is? I don't know. Again, I've only used the Jeeps and Bics up to this point. It's my first time I've used these lighters. So.
All right, more questions?
That's it. Nope.
All right.
3 people are watching. Thank you guys. I appreciate the triumvirate.
There's
Very
at least
good.
5 people watching.
slightly more than that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wait
you
a
guys,
second.
and
You guys
yeah.
count. You count.
Yeah. Go with 7.
Not even my wife is watching this thing. I
Well,
guarantee
don't
you that.
Mine either. Thanks,
No.
John.
Watching cigar content, Red Rocks.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's go to Red Rocks.
That's a
Watch
good
cigar
question.
podcasts.
Nobody stays at Red Rocks except for this guy. But yeah, no free shout outs. So Red Rocks, comp my room if you're watching. Fuck.
It's a long ways to come for the show, though, isn't it?
It is, but you know, actually I prefer that. It's just because if I was by myself, I would be here. And
Yeah,
that
I
would
mean, you get in your limo with your driver and
No.
just drive all the way. You know, you did.
No, it's.
I mean, it's nice, you know, with the newspaper and the.
It's either an Uber or rent a car. To be honest, we're not. Is this still going on?
It's still going on.
No, it's still taping. Oh, we're still going. No, I do it because if it was by myself, I literally would be here just for ease of functionality. But I prefer having my wife and my daughter with me. It's been that way since day one. AJ has had a passport since she was 8 months old. This is her 4th time to Vegas, and she turned 6 on Monday. If that gives you any idea. She's been to Hawaii, I think 3 or 4 times, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas. She'll be 3rd time in the Dominican.
Traveling awesome for
Jeez.
kids.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's a great experience for kids.
I grew up in a military family, so I traveled all over the world, lived all over the world, and it's certainly something that that I can refer back to, and it made me who I am, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'd love to bring my son Everett here, but I feel like he'd be a little overwhelmed by everything.
Well, I mean,
in
she
Vegas,
never.
that is, not Red Rock.
That's why Red Rock is a good option because it's more family focused. They have like a bowling center there. They got like a playroom for the kids. They got pools. They got all the little amenities that children would partake in.
Are you hanging out after the show?
No.
Or are you going right home?
No, I come here. I go to work just like work. I go to work, commute, back home, family time. That kind of thing. So it's a nice balance, nice equilibrium.
How far is that drive from Red Rock?
25 minutes. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
The
actually.
limo must make it a really nice drive.
The limo. Does anybody ride limousines anymore? I mean, that's like so like 1990s or something, man. It's like there's. I kind of laugh.
So
It's like,
trading places.
It's kind of like cringeworthy. You're stuck in that time gap. I'm seeing this pattern like Footloose, Trading Places, fucking Kenny Loggins.
That's because the 80s were the best decade in the history of mankind.
Oh man.
Fight me.
Prove me otherwise. Is that what they say?
John, thanks
Appreciate
for coming
it.
on.
It was fun. I always have good chat.
All right.